heck is going on there? And if you look at how this is a map that was found in a Buddhist temple, supposedly 10 centuries old. It was published in 1910 in a Florida newspaper, and it's showing all of these continents out here. Like, what is going on here? So let's just take this to the next step. And so here is. So when we clicked on one of those ships, it had very little information. Normally you get tons of information, where it's going, how long is at sea, when it's arriving. All it says, it was registered into the nation of Kiribati, it's pronounced. And it was 850 meters long, which is a gigantic ship, 80 meters wide. So where's Kiribati? It's out here in the middle of the ocean. I had to put a pin on it. It's literally a sandbar, right? And America, China, Vietnam, all these countries say, oh, it's a very, very important trade route. It's a very important trade route. Why would a giant ship have to stop at this sandbar to be a trade route? Okay. So that I found very interesting. So let's just go a little bit farther here. So if we look at the ships that are all at that dock and we click on them, it's hard to see, but I'll tell you what they say. All of their destinations say unknown or Christmas Island. Now, some people say Kiribati, they call Christmas Island. Some people say it's another place. It's weird that they all have the same destination or unknown. And it's very, very, very interesting. So I'm not going to get into the whole thing. They used to do a lot of nuke testing there. If you know anything about nukes, that's just another thing to keep people away. But if we look at time zones, right, on a ball of globe Earth, North Pole, South Pole, you got 24 lines dividing the Earth up into 24 time zones. As the Earth spins, the sun travels through the time zones, and you have all of your time zones. But Kiribati was in this weird spot. Let me zoom in. It's right here. Now, this time zone zigzags all over the place. How does that work on a spinning ball, right? Why? There's 3.5 time zones here, right? And Kiribati is, I would call it, in the most suspicious spot, right? So if we look at time zones, there should be 24 time zones, but there's 19 time zones in the north, 24 in the middle near the equator, and there's 32 time zones in the south. Well, if you tried to wrap that map around a ball, you'd have to squish this down, right? Why are there 32 time zones in the south and 19 in the north if we're a symmetrical ball, right? And so here's what I think is going on. And this is not needed to prove the Earth is flat. If this was the world, right, they squished it all around. So everything outside this line here, they say, oh, that's just Antarctica. It's a continent at the bottom of a ball, right? But what if there was a trade route and it looked like this? Here's Kiribati, and it goes out, and these ships are going out here to these other civilizations. Where do we get our computer ships from? Where are we getting all our tuna fish from? Where are we getting, maybe they're trading children, weapons, technology. We don't know. We don't know. And the thing is, you can't say, well, that can't be. You didn't ever hear about Kiribati until just now. You just never even thought of this as a possibility because the controllers did a fantastic job. They made it so flat Earth is something that you can't even question, don't have any interesting questioning. And, and nobody wants to go to the South Pole or the North Pole because we're all programmed with National Geographic shows showing the guys going to the North Pole, freezing their butts off. They're running out of food. They're eating their dogs, right? Then they get there and it's dark and cold and there's nothing there. That is to program you. So you never say, I want to go to the North. I think there's lots of interesting stuff in the North and more interesting stuff in the South.
Bro, I am with you too, as far as programming with the especially National Geographic and all that.
Oh yeah.
Now that I'm waking up and I can see things for what they are, for the first time in my life, I love the show Planet Earth. I noticed two things. It is, but I noticed two things they pushed.
The ball,
climate change nonstop.
Yep.
Climate change, they always say, and one day the bird may not exist because of climate change. And one day this or that. So I get that. It's nonstop climate change. Meanwhile, Plymouth Rock is still where it's at. The other thing that blows my mind was they were pushing a gay agenda. And I'm telling you, I'm on the flight, and they sold the fact that this bird would attract another bird, and he does his little dance, and then the other males come and they kind of fight him, and then the bird is and then he ends up with another male, and it's like, and he lives the rest of his life. And I'm like, how can you say that the bird is gay and he stays gay for the rest of his life? Is planet Earth studying the bird for the last 40, 50 years? Like, that was the most absurd, disturbing comment. But when you're under hypnosis and you're watching, you don't question it. I'm sitting there going, oh yeah, and gay. And the way they explained it was, for some, it's better to be gay than to be lonely, which, again, I have nothing against gay people, but to say that on planet Earth about a bird, I went, they're programming. That's total programming, what they're saying. If a child is watching, I guess I can, but yeah, I'll do that. Like that. The point is, it was the first time I started realizing how many things are actually there to program you, to lure you in with the beauty, and then go, climate change and, birds could be gay.
Jim, people are, we're born as trusting beings, right? I trust everybody until they burn me, right? And that could be to my own detriment.
Same.
But if I didn't trust, I don't want to live in a world where I can't trust people. So I assume you're a good person until, my senses tell me otherwise. Or, until you absolutely burn me. Think about this. In school, if you want to get A's, you have to memorize and regurgitate perfectly. If you question or challenge, you don't get an A. You get sent to the principal's office. You get suspended, right? You get demonetized.
Or you get told that you have ADHD and they have drugs,
and they
for
drug you, right?
They can pay attention better.
And the Rockefellers took over the education system, I think in 1901. And they made it so all schools are underfunded, right? We can buy jets, for billions of dollars. But, you want to buy books, you have to have a cookie sale. And then the only books available are the ones that they control. And they sell them at 1/10 of what they cost to make. So nobody can ever compete. Like, hey, Jim, let's put our own textbook together. It's going to cost us $50 a book or $20 a book. Well, the school can buy them for $5. So they're not going to buy our books ever. And that's how they control the information.
I absolutely love using BetterHelp. Therapy just in general has changed my life.